What is going on, Future Focus family? My name is George. That's Matt. And we make videos to help you make money investing. And this is episode 2, the official episode 2 of our new show that we're going to do every day during lunchtime, Eastern Standard Time. This is called the Daily Dollar. Today, we're going to talk about some crypto-centric things. But before we even get into all that, I got some exciting news today. It was kind of shocking, but I'll fill you guys in. I'm currently doing a cash out refinance on my mortgage that I have. I paid off my house in Virginia this year, so I'm happy about that. But I also have a house in North Carolina, and on that one, I had a 30-year mortgage. So I decided, you know what? I want to go, now that I only have one mortgage, I want to take that, move it to a 15-year, and, reduce the amount. My rate was 3.35, and with the current rates it makes a lot of sense to refinance to a lower rate. They talked about a cash out refinance, and I said, you know what, give me the details on it and I'll let you know what I think. When I filled out my application, they on there asked what I think the current value of the home is. So I was a little, I thought I was on the high side, and I put 175 because I paid 165 in 2018. I just got a call right before the show started, and the lovely lady helping me out, she said, I understand what you did there, but just so you know, on the low side, I have your house being appraised at 250,000, and on the high side, I have it about 310,000. And I was like, damn, but I just like that just shows you what kind of market we're in right now. She's like, yes, sir, we're in a definitely a seller's market now. But I'm gonna take some cash out. It just makes sense because the house that I have in Virginia, 90% of that was paid off by tenants. You know what I mean? So the house that I have in North Carolina is going to be paid off by tenants as well. So that money I could put into better use. I could have it on the sidelines in case something happens. I already have my emergency fund. I always have 10,000 in the emergency fund. But that gives me some operating leverage. It gives me some ammunition for when an ultimate, there's going to be a 10, 20, 30% correction. Although I was listening today, yeah, he's saying there's going to be a lot more than that, and I totally, I see it. However, some research from Y charts, I don't have the chart here, but they went through the last one starting from the 1963, and every time that the market, just the S&P 500 has been up 8% through the first 8 months, it has 9 times out of 9 gone up for the remainder of the year. So that's what a lot of people are optimistic about. When you see the market continue to go up and go up, that's another reason that it could be happening. But any thoughts on that? Yesterday you asked me for my thoughts for Bitcoin for the end of the year. Like, I want to hear a call from you on the S&P 500 at the end of the year. Where do you have it sitting at?
Well, first of all, you hear me? You hear me good? All right. By the way, congratulations on your house. I'm happy that's freaking low key. You made what's that? Roughly 50% of your money in 2 to 3 years, right? Congratulations.
Yes,
right? If you ask me, it's a product of M2 money supply going up, but nonetheless, congratulations, right? Hopefully, and I think the good thing is you're taking advantage of it. So, right, all this easy money, let's get some. That's what the banks do. Let's get the money.
No, you're right.
At low rates. So good on you.
Before you go into it, S&P 500 is up right now 0.18%. The Dow is up net down 0.12%. The Nasdaq is up 0.63%. The Russell 2000 is up 0.24%. You got gold down 0.32%, but silver is up 0.77%. And lastly, we got BTC USD up 0.28%. The S&P 500 currently is at $4,531. So go ahead with that prediction for end of the year for the S&P 500. Where you at? Where you at?
So we have 40. Jesus Christ, I can't believe we have 45. I'm gonna say 4,700.
47.
Say 40.
That's
Let's do 4,600.
46. That's optimistic, but can you can't. Do you want to battle the Fed? Do you want to fight the Fed? You know what I mean?
What do you mean, up or down?
No, I'm saying like if some people have predictions of 4,000, 44,000, you know, 44,400, 4,000.
A little lower.
Yeah, but Tom Lee, who is a person I respect, he's been doing this. He's been right 90% of the time. He's what I would call the opposite of Ray Dalio. Like Ray Dalio is like the perma bear. Tom Lee is like respected, but he's like he's the perma bull.
But who got more money though?
I don't know. I don't know.
You know. Don't play. You know. Forbes will tell you. You know who got. I don't even know Tommy net worth, but I know I know Ray 90% got more than him. But continue.
True. There you go. But yeah, Tom Lee's he's an analytical person. You know, he advises hedge funds. You know.
Okay.
So that's his job, and he's well respected on Wall Street. But yeah, he has his initial target was 4,600, and now he has the same target that you just put, 4,700. However, B of A, Bank of America, they released their prediction through end of the year recently, and it was 5,000. So they have a 5,000 price prediction, and that's after a decline. So they're expecting it to pass 5,000 and then come back down for the end of the year and finish down at 5,000. So that's their current prediction. We'll see what happens. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is we'll go through Ethereum and we'll go through Cardano. I got some news on both of them. Something I think you would. I'm not sure if you're tracking this or not, Matt, but something I found interesting that I feel you might find interesting. So let me share my screen. So currently, there's ETH that are being burned. It's deflationary. They put a protocol in there called the EIP TAC 1559 protocol, and it's an upgrade to the system because they wanted to compete with Bitcoin. You know, Bitcoin will only ever have 21 million Bitcoin that will ever exist. There'll never be more than that. And Ethereum obviously had already way more. They surpassed that. So they put this protocol in there that every time there's a transaction, a certain amount of Ethereum gets burned. So Ethereum is, you could even go to watchtheburn.com and you could see it like live in motion, how many Ethereum are being burned. Right here's the blocks. You can look at the blocks and see how much were burned through blocks. The base fee, the priority fee, the rewards that have been paid out since they've moved from proof of work protocol to proof of stake protocol. So the total amount in USD that has been burned is $561,644,000. And this money continues to go up. This 158,619 ETH that have been burned, that's not just like since the protocol was launched. This is like just today. So as of today, there's been 158,000. It's averaging about 300,000 ETH being burned per day. So you could do the math on that. And it's a deflationary cause that they put on there. If you've been paying attention to the price of Ethereum this last week or since the protocol was launched, the price of Ethereum has slowly been rising. So this is something deflationary that's been added. I think it's something positive to bring down the amount that are being out there. So a jaw-dropping 400 million in Ethereum has now been burned by a network upgrade that destroys transaction fees. Around 200 ETH or 643,000 are burned per hour. As of Sunday, the Ethereum blockchain burned 124,865,000 ETH. The update that burns the ETH EIP 1559 came out into force on August 5. The ETH burning became most intense on Friday, EIP 1559 burned approximately 11,176 ETH, worth about 35.8 million. Ethereum is expected to switch to proof of stake. That already happened. They're kind of still in between. So there's kind of a bug in the system right now. And the reason there's a bug in the system is because there's some people that are still in the proof of stake and they haven't moved over yet. They haven't transitioned. And what will happen if this transition doesn't go through is that there'll be a fork in the system. And forks are not something that you want. That it doesn't really show that there's a lot of respect for your, like, it happens when two sides don't agree. So for example, you have Bitcoin out there, you also have Bitcoin Cash, you have Bitcoin Classic, you have Bitcoin Gold. And the reason there's all these little derivatives, it's not really derivatives, they're just at a certain point people can't agree. Whenever there's a voting that happens between the stake owners, if they can't agree, it splits ways. It happened after the DAO hack in 2018 to Ethereum. So now they have Ethereum and Ethereum Classic because of this hack that occurred. Matt, what are your thoughts on adding this deflationary protocol into the Ethereum blockchain?
Great question. You got to be careful with that. I know from an investing standpoint, it sounds good, but money, right? Money's most akin to what? In my humble opinion, water, right? So you can have too much water, and you could also have too little water. Money needs to be viscous, especially when you're investing, or your currency as they plan is gonna grow to scale, and different economy, and different ecosystems are gonna rely on their money. um you need inflationary settings, you need deflationary settings, absolutely. But um that's one of the perks, and I'm not saying I advocate for this, but that's one of the perks of a centralized government. So yes, we're in the argument that we're in now, but during the 1910s, the SEC and Federal Reserve came about because that deflationary impact. I don't know the levers that Ethereum has, but I know a lot of times, oh, Bitcoin has 21 million, it's locked. That's not necessarily a good thing. Um, Especially what's going on in the economy, people lose money. It ends up in one hand, and one person's hand, or a small group's hands. I give you an example of what happens when things are deflationary. When you
Please
play
do. Please do.
Monopoly, when you play Monopoly and you see money, you can have a nice bag, but if you don't have that bag that the number one guy has, it starts turning to a bidding war that even the second richest guy, he's gonna lose. And that's what happens when it's a fixed set of money. um I'm gonna have to go there. Gold, right? It's a
Oh,
reason. It's a reason why they it has many nicknames. It's God's money, all throughout the Bible, and other historic texts. The reason being is you have to work for it, right? So Bitcoin, yes, I guess they mock that part. You have to mine it, so there's man hours involved. You just know that, right? So um another thing too, when countries, when they used to be on a gold standard, I got this from Jim Rickards, um they would balance their books, right? It would help prevent trade deficits and imbalances. So you could only imagine that it wasn't just to back the dollar, but it was also to make trade balances fair, right? So if one country got too rich in gold, you wouldn't want to trade with that country because the export to be expensive, and it would help circulate the wealth. Not just that, but I think the beautiful thing about being able to continuously mine is, let's say you do hit a deflationary setting, right? If you want
yeah.
a gold standard, hey man, You could just mine some gold and increase the supply. And that's why in the night, I know it's old school, but that's why during the Great Depression, those stocks did well. So um the smart contracts and things like, yes, Ethereum is a cut above, absolutely. But things get dangerous when you try to play economists, you know. That's for anybody, including the Fed. So it's just something to be cautious of.
Yeah, talking about the Fed, you know, Jerome Powell, a lot of people don't know that he's not an economist. So he like
Mm.
frequently tries to let the economists know, like, I'm not an economist. Like, I'm looking at this from a different lens when I do things. You know what I mean? It's a little bit about his history. He was a lawyer. So he's not this isn't his thing. You know what I mean? He is into finance, but he's not an economist.
He better be.
There's a difference there. So a lot of people need to understand that. You know who I haven't heard a lot about lately? Janet Yellen. She just disappeared, man. I haven't heard nothing.
It's not necessarily a good thing.
I don't know, man, but I haven't heard any policy being announced. I haven't
Oh, she
heard
working on policy. It's the quiet ones you watch.
Because you know, previously, like Mnuchin, you always heard about him. Like, he was always in the media. I'm actually hearing a lot more about the SEC head than Janet Yellen. So hopefully she's all right. You know, it might be some health. She was older. She's on the older side. You already know she used to be the Fed chair. So maybe when maybe she was told to quiet down. That's my assumption, because she kept saying what she would do if she was the Fed. You know what I mean? And that's not really fair to Jerome Powell either, for her to put her 2 cents in on what she should do. Monetary should not be talking about fiscal. And Jerome Powell does a good thing. He does a good job of, every time he's being questioned about the monetary side, or I mean the fiscal side of it, like he backs away. He's like, you know, that's not mine. That's not my lane. I'll worry about rates. I'll worry about the 4 areas of the economy that I'm supposed to worry about. So that's something else to look at. The next story I wanted to talk about it's kind of connected to Ethereum as well, but it has to do with Cardano. And this is another story here. Let me share my screen once again. So here we go. Cardano Ada, my baby girl, will launch the new ERC20 converter bridge next week, as company founder Charles Hoskinson targets Ethereum tokens as ripe fruit for picking. So what is the ER20 converter? So the converter is simply a bridge that connects the Ethereum network to Cardano, allowing for easy migration of Ethereum-based assets. And for those who don't know, the ERC20, all it is what, like, well, I'll put it right here. ERC20 is similar in some respects to Bitcoin, Litecoin, or any other cryptocurrency. ERC20 tokens are blockchain-based assets that have value and can be sent and received. The primary difference is that instead of running on their own blockchain, ERC20 tokens are issued on the Ethereum network. So currently they're issued on the Ethereum network solely. However, once the ERC20 converter is ready to go, and this says September 12th, now they will also be available on the Cardano network. With the new tool going live on the testnet next week, hopes are high and investors are giddy with excitement following last week's impressive bull run to new all-time highs. We first learned about the ERC20 tool back in May. However, the latest version came from comments given by the IOHK project manager Francisco Landino during the Cardano 360 event. The blockchain developer explained that users of Ethereum-based tokens will be to switch over to enjoy the benefits of Cardano's transaction capacity and lower fees as soon as the new tool is deployed. So it gives a lot of people incentive to start using it on the Cardano side instead of the Ethereum side, because right now a lot of people are complaining about how high the gas fees are on the Ethereum blockchain. Converter adds to Rift. The launch of the converter is likely to add the rift between Ethereum's Vitalik and his co-founder, rival Charles Hoskinson. According to the ADA founder, more than 100 companies have already announced that they will be moving across from the Ethereum to Cardano. Interestingly, Some analysts suggest the ERC20 converter could enhance security for ERC20 users. The first token to be migrated to Cardano upon launch will be Singularity Net, a network specializing in decentralized artificial intelligence. The startup plans to be the first to migrate, moving its native AGIX token across to the Cardano network. So what do you think about that right there? What are your thoughts?
You got gloves? You got gloves in the trunk of your car?
Do I have gloves?
Yeah.
I think I got some back there. Yeah.
Okay, because y'all about to start a fight.
Why?
Yeah. Yeah, it low key. Yes, I think it's great news for the end user. But as far as the developers, you know what I mean? It's like, what the hell? You know, it almost sounds like you guys are making an improvement on top of our platform, kind of stealing our sway, if you will. Like, and I could be dead wrong, but what I kind of heard in the background, at least in my mind, was, oh yeah, this might be a little crypto war between developers. You know what I mean?
Oh,
And it's great for the consumer, right? That's capitalism, right? It's great,
yeah.
but I could see a little beef coming down the lane.
All right. So some little history. Charles Hoskinson, the founder of Cardano, was part of the initial team that created Ether. Like they came together and they made Ethereum. But while he was there, he didn't like a lot of the things that were going on. For example, one of the things that he said was that the founder, Vitalik, and all the initial heads, like the founder of Polkadot, he was part of that little crew too. You know how they have the PayPal Mafia? There's also the Ethereum Mafia. Like, have you ever heard of the PayPal Mafia?
No, but wait, Elon Musk.
Yeah, so all the people, like the founder of Twitter, Elon Musk, like all these different people.
Is it the
Square.
Palantir guy? The Palantir guy too? Is he from PayPal?
I don't think it was
Somebody
him.
else.
I think
Okay.
somebody that invested in Palantir.
Okay.
It wasn't.
That
But
makes sense.
yeah, so they have like all these successful people that started at PayPal. You know what I mean? And it's the same thing with Ethereum. They have all these different blockchains now that have people from there. And Charles Hoskinson, he's never denied that. He wants to be the Ethereum killer because he's a humanitarian type of person. You know what I mean? He does a lot of things that are for the people. He took his project to Africa on his dime, and he let them work it and try it out on their system to see if they would accept it, and they ended up accepting it in Ethiopia. They're using the blockchain in Ethiopia for student records. So from now on, every time a student graduates high school, college, graduates anything, their records are going to be on the Cardano blockchain. So that's how, if they want to go to a new school, that's how their records will be verified. Prior to that, there was a lot of forging. Like people were forging certificates of, they went to this academic school or this technical school. There was a lot of forgery, and this is going to help with that. The government was on board and they're accepting Cardano. Everything will be done on Cardano over there. They're doing transactions with coffee shops, and they're doing that on their expense. They're letting the people utilize it because a lot of those people, they don't have banks. Like the banks charge them to keep money in the bank, So Cardano's trying to change things for the better. But one of the first things that Charles Hoskinson noticed was that Vitalik tried to give those founders, like the first people there, a lot of Ethereum. Like he was trying to take care of them before taking care of everybody else. Whereas he's doing it the opposite way. You know what I mean? He's trying to make sure the blockchain's taken care of, security is good. They're able to scale. Scalability is really important, and it's something that Ethereum has had a lot of trouble with. Like the amount of blocks that they can send through transaction are very, very small compared to what Cardano is going to be able to do. So there is a rift there because they have history together. You know what I mean? And Charles Hoskinson has publicly stated, "I want to be the Ethereum killer," so because he saw everything that was wrong with them, and in Cardano, he's gone about doing it the right way. Everything he's done before it gets even put into the protocol, he has academics that are not associated with the protocol at all, or associated with Cardano at all. He sends them white letters. He sends them like proof, so they can test it out and they could see, these people that have nothing to do with Cardano, they look at it, they review it, and then they send it back with approvals or changes. So everything is academic review that gets put into Cardano by people that are experts in whatever space that they're trying to do. And he's a mathematician, man. Like he's I can't take anything away from Vitalik though. He was like 16 years old when he came up with the white paper for Ethereum, man. So this is a kid that saw things wrong. It's the same thing, man. He saw things wrong with Bitcoin, and he wanted something bigger. And I saw an interview with him the other day, and he was asked if he could change anything. He said he would want to be more like Satoshi is like, nobody knows who he is because he's tired of people running up to him on the street asking, are you the Vitalik? So he's like kind of getting fed up with that. But what are your thoughts, man?
It's funny how I kind of deduced that without even knowing the background. And that's just how I think. I think I try to think long term. I think the initiatives are nice. I think you bring up very valid points. I got to come with the doom and the gloom. My favorite guys are Ray Dalio and Michael Burry. Like I don't know why, I like them. I just do. Those are my guys. But I know Putin met with I don't want to mispronounce his name, Vitalik. Are you aware of that? Did you see that? It's like a little.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that they met. No.
He invited him to Russia, but this is, I don't want to get the story wrong, but from my perception, he didn't want Ethereum. He wanted to know, hey, if I hire you, can you make a crypto for us? You know what I mean? Like I kid you, it's on YouTube, and like you can see Vitalik, like he was low key a little uncomfortable. He's like, I don't want to, but whatever you want, sir. I'm in your land. He had that type of attitude. But
yeah,
I'm curious to see the how the landscape plays out. But I'm looking at Putin. I'm looking at Xi. I hope I didn't mispronounce his name. I'm looking at the G5 leaders, and I think they got something up their sleeve, man. I think, and it's gonna really that make or break. So can Ethereum and ADA, can they make money? Absolutely, right? I think the bigger question is, can they crack into the G5, the G7, the G20, right? Places that have historically, I just don't see them on any scale turning it over to, how old is Vitalik? 30 years old? Is he 30?
Yeah. Probably younger. He's probably in his 20s, man. Probably like 25.
I think he early 20s. Yeah, or early or mid 20s. Let's say 20s. I just don't say, okay, yeah, thank you. If you could just handle our financial system and help keep us honest while you're at it, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. No more embezzling. I just don't. I think the initiatives are great. I think there's going to be a fight for power. I think there's going to be a fight for, because who controls the currency writes the rules. Or as they say, who controls the gold writes the rules.
Yeah. So here's the list of the mafia. You got Peter Thiel at the top. Yeah. You got Elon Musk.
What company was Thiel with?
Right there, it shows the strings, like all the different companies he's attached to.
Is he not Palantir?
Peter Thiel did invest in Palantir. He did. But he's not the CEO of Palantir.
Okay. I thought he was.
Yeah,
okay.
No. The CEO of Palantir, he's not on here. I don't see him at all. But yeah, that's the PayPal mafia right there.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. So, matter of fact, since I have that, I'm gonna
So,
pull up the. Hold on. We'll
I
pull up
want to.
the Ethereum Mafia. There you go.
I want to kind of touch upon that too, where essentially you're talking about different fractions, like or factions, pardon me, like what company they came from, and you see that with Toyota, right? So I think
Yeah.
Toyota, I want to say, kind of birthed Honda either directly or indirectly. I can't remember if the guy got fired and then he started Honda from his shop. So that type of thing goes back, but I want to give an example when there was like real beef between factions, and that was Thomas Edison and Nikola Tesla. You know,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Nikola Tesla worked under Thomas Edison, and then he was like, you know what? I gotta blaze my own path, and they were butting heads to the day they died. Just one had GE, the other one had Westinghouse, and they were always bidding for contracts, and yeah.
Um. So yeah. So it's an interesting dynamic going on. I think that I'm bullish on Ethereum, man. That's one of the reasons I see it. Like people put price targets of 25,000 up there on it. I could see it because I could see some of the market cap coming from Bitcoin and moving to Ethereum, and that boosting up the market cap. Remember, man, at a certain point, you've been with the market for a long, long time, man, and I know you've heard before or you've seen it a long time, like years ago. 8 years ago, 10 years ago, when Apple, like before even Apple, people thought when a company reached the $1 trillion mark that was it. They made it. You know what I mean? That was going to be the highest anyone ever made. That was the top. You know, as of today, you have 5 companies that are worth more than $1 trillion. Facebook just cleared that mark. So now you got Fang, they're all up there. They cleared that mark. And I could see that for the cryptocurrency market as well, man, especially with all this liquidity in the system. I could see that moving up. What's the market cap of gold? Do you know?
I think they estimate. Oh my god, it's disgusting. But they estimate like 12 trillion ish. It's I want to say it's like hovering around 10 trillion, give or take, plus or minus. But a lot of it's not even real gold. A lot of it is like paper gold, unallocated, and all this other stuff. Synthetic gold. But you brought up a good example. So yes, I yes, right. People never. I'll add to your example. People never thought that Tesla would be I can't even say multi-billion. Any car company would pass the quarter trillion mark. Tesla did that, right? Or more or
Yeah.
less did that. But I also want to give the flip example too, right? Look at the .com stocks, right? You look at AOL, you look at Yahoo, you look at Compaq, Cisco. Everybody was saying, "Hey, that's the future. Hey, that's the future. It's the future," and they were right, but it wasn't necessarily with them. And in '99, 2000, I from what I understand, Cisco still hasn't passed its all-time high. You know
Nope.
what I mean? Like, so I think that's why we play the game. It could work both ways. Like, it could exceed expectations, and sometimes its potential could be clipped.
Yeah. There you see the market caps. You got gold at 11.53, silver at 1.34, palladium
Palladium,
at
yeah.
433.12 billion, platinum at 249.35 billion, which makes sense because if you look at, platinum is worth a lot more than gold is, right? Or am I wrong?
It's rarer than gold. It should be worth more, but it's not. It's
Yeah, I
not
wonder why. Because there's less. Obviously, there's less. Oh, because there's less
platinum.
platinum than gold. Okay.
But
yeah,
those
but
numbers are like those are like fluff numbers, man. Those are like fluff. And I'm not even saying necessarily higher. It's just people don't do what they're supposed. That's part of the reason why we're in the situation we're in now. Like a lot of people say, "Hey, I'm investing in gold. I'm investing, yeah," and then they go buy the ETF. But you notice what Palantir did is like, nah, give me the physical, give me the real, give me
yeah,
the
they
real.
bought
Like
$50 million worth of gold, the physical.
I, I would even venture and say at gold's current price, I could be wrong. I don't even think there's $11 trillion worth of gold out there. The physical, it's not that much gold out there. Like
So
if
how much would you say is derivative then?
according to sources, it said for every one real physical ounce, there's like 87 paper contracts or 87 paper ounces.
Jeez.
And that's why, right? And think about it, right? Let's talk from a logical standpoint. You notice the difference of deficits once we got off the standard, right? And once we, you could go to Bretton Woods, whatever. Even you could just see the deficit ballooning. Like it's very, people hate it, but it keeps you honest, right?
Yeah,
And essentially, what these cryptos are trying to do, cryptos are trying to make people honest, but this fake money has to go somewhere, man. Like
it
you
does,
mentioned,
man.
this fake money.
Uh, and right
Mhm.
now we're in an area of stagflation,
Mhm.
so that's something people gotta be wary about too, man. Stagflation is not just inflation. Well, let me put this up real quick. So for my non-economists out there, let me share this real quick. In economics, stagflation or recession inflation is a situation in which the inflation rate is high, which we currently are at, but the economic growth rate slows and unemployment remains steadily high. It presents a dilemma for economy policy since actions intend to lower inflation may actually exacerbate unemployment. But it's like a weird dynamic right now if we're talking about this, because it's not like there's not jobs available. You know what I mean? The Right now it's like one for one, man. The amount of people that don't have jobs that are filing for unemployment and the amount of jobs that are out there is literally like one for one out there. So there is not a shortage of jobs out there. It's just a shortage of
Did
jobs that
you
people are willing to do.
see the jobs report today?
I think it was 389,000.
And you saw the estimates. You saw the miss on the estimates.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but I think that was just the private.
Okay. Okay.
That was just private. It wasn't like the entire United States economy. It was just the private sector. But the real numbers should all. I mean, the entire numbers should be out on Friday. Also, something else to look forward to this month is the actual meeting with the Fed, where they talk about everything that went through. In Jackson Hole, they brought up a lot of concepts to chew on. And then later on this month, they're going to come back and, may actually talk about putting policies into place. So that's something else to keep in mind and look forward to later on this month. So with all that said, we're at the 40-minute mark. Matt, your favorite part of the show. Here we go. Smash or pass.
Let me get in there. Let me get in there with this. Get
All right.
interactive.
So, hey, the first one we're going to look at, I'm picking this one. Again, viewers, if you guys want us to put on there, a stock that you guys might be thinking about and you want to know our thoughts on it, you have two people here who look at things kind of differently. So you'll get two different dynamics of whether it's to buy something or sell something. So you'll get like sort of like the full picture. You could comment, leave us a comment down below, and we'll definitely hook you up on the next episode. But without further ado, so we got Marathon Digital Holdings. So here we have a look at the 6-month chart. It bottomed out around $17, but Matt, I think you were too. I was buying this a lot lower than that. I was right here around the $5-something range. I think you were around that same range as well when you were purchasing this. Being that I think it's harder, man. I think that's hard. Like when you purchase something down here, there's kind of a psychological block that doesn't allow you to purchase it higher. Do you get that, or is it just me?
Nah, I don't. So that's why I struggle to invest in things. When I believe in something, I don't care. I don't care. I'll hold it. I'm not looking to sell it less than a year anyway because the capital gains tax. I'm not saying I never do, but I'm in pretty much for the long haul. Like, so a low price doesn't necessarily bother me per se.
Yeah. I have the different dynamic where, it may be a fault. It has been a fault a few times because, I bought it at 5 and I sold it around 30 something. And this went all the way to 56, because I put a price on it and a timeline. And I'm like, if it hits this price in this certain amount of time, I'm going to sell. And I'm kind of like disciplined with those sell triggers, So AMC, I sold it around $20 and it went all the way to 80,
So two things with that, right? As some of the greats say, it's never wrong to take profits, right? That's A. B, my weakness is, and it depends, right? If I believe in it, I'm buying all throughout that thing. I'm not just buying at 5. I'm buying at 20. I'm buying at 30. I'm buying at 40. And I'm laughing because I remember I had that conversation. I remember being in the room. I was like, yo, should I buy this? You know what I'm saying? You remember that? I was like, yeah. And you probably saw the look on my face. Man, those are good times, by the way. You probably saw the look on my face. I was like, should I really like stop what I'm doing with this and then buy this? So has it made me money? 100%. But I'm almost ungrateful. I'm grateful for the money, but for me, it's long term.
Yeah.
It's long term. And the future with this thing is real. I haven't sold anything, but I toss and turn that night. I'm like, are they gonna do what China did, or
So going back to the chart, what is your take, man, at the current price of Marathon Digital Holdings? The current price is $40.89. Looking at today's chart, it is currently up 0.74%. Looking at the 5-day chart, there you can see some action on what it's done so far this week. It had a big boost up because this is kind of correlated with the price of Bitcoin. But are you buying? Are you smashing or passing?
Damn. Well, let me just disclose that I currently hold this stock.
So then the question for you would be, are you buy more, sell, or hold? And I think we already know your answer. So you're not buying no more.
I don't think I'm buying anymore. I'm holding. I got, and that's the beautiful thing of investing early. I have my little safety or margin if things happen. I'm holding right now. I'm riding it out, but I don't think I'm buying anymore.
And for those who don't know, Matt, the golden child, he purchased Tesla in 2014, so he got in before a lot of y'all did.
13.
Oh, correction, 13. 2013. So there you go.
Heard Bitcoin in 2013 too, right? But clearly, I'm a fool. Clearly, I'm a fool.
Well, you're not a fool, man. I think the fools are the ones who, they never I think Munger. I respect him, but it's like he's gonna die like being sticking to his laurels and saying, I'm not investing in Bitcoin, it's trash. Like some people are not open-minded, you know what I mean? At least you're like you're open-minded enough to like, I'm gonna play
At
around
least
with it.
look
I'm
at it.
I'm gonna put
Look at it.
something in
Yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
not like, oh, it's gross. I'm not,
So
crypto
you
cryptocurrency is lava.
no. So you bring up a good point, and I'm not talking about cryptos. I'm just talking about in general, right? These
Yeah.
guys, right, been around for 90 years, literally 90 years. They've seen a lot of things come and go, and this is their craft. Like Munger is a billionaire too, and that doesn't mean anything in the sense of he's always right. But I say that to say he's a student of his craft. Like they were talking about like the Hammurabi code or something like that. I know that that deals more with punishments, but they were talking about before Christ financial algorithms before crisis time. Like they take that stuff serious. So I do think they missed opportunities. I think Warren Buffett is crazy to be best friends with Bill Gates and never buy any Microsoft, right? And then want to buy Apple's 25 years later, right? 30 years later, after it done hit at a half a billion. Okay, cool, copy, fine. They miss things, but I think the secret to their success is slow and steady. You know, Coca-Cola was Warren's most profitable trade. Like just and he'll tell you that he doesn't like technology. He likes things that
He
you know,
understands.
not just that people must you no matter what technology does, you always will drink a Coca-Cola the same way. Well, let me not say that before it goes on a blockchain and digitally download it into us. But you put your clothes on the same way, you're gonna drink the same way. So
Yeah. So, all right, on to the next one. Here we go. All right, so let's take a look at this. Is First Majestic Silver Corporation. Ooh, here we go. Take a look at the six
man,
month
start trying
chart.
to get personal. Try to
Yeah,
get
and so
personal.
we went with the cryptocurrency miner, and now we're going with the physical miner.
Mm,
First Majestic Silver Corp. They dig up gold, they dig up silver, they dig up copper. Here they hit a high of
mm,
about 18.95, and back in 16 June of 21, I think this is when they reported their earnings, and even though they beat estimates, what happened is they stated that because of supply chain issues, they couldn't give guidance for the rest of the year, for the rest of 2021 and even 2022. So since then, their stock has gotten hit a lot. But, talking about Warren Buffett, be fearful when others are greedy, be greedy when others are fearful. So looking at the 6-month chart, they're down a lot. I mean, they had a high of 18.95, and currently they're at $12.97 today. We'll take a look at the 1-month chart. You can see it looked like they bottomed out here around the $11.56 range. 5-day chart, they've been on an upswing. They had kind of almost a double bottom here at $12.61. So what is your thoughts on this one? Are you smashing or passing on First Majestic Silver Corp?
all right. Let me keep it brief. Or somewhat brief for me. So keep in mind, right, that this is not gold for the most part, it's silver. So I say that to say what? You need this to power your Bitcoin. You need this to power your ADA. Like silver's in every electronic consumer good, right? If not everyone, almost everyone. Every tech company from Apple to Samsung, they buy silver. So if you hate silver's monetary trade, you have to respect it for its industrial trade, especially in the electric future that we're stepping into. It's the most electric metal, or most conductive metal, as engineers would say. Um, I think the fall in price, it's one of the most shorted companies out there. If I'm not mistaken, it's one of the more shorted companies. I think I'm just gonna be honest. I think that's in relation to the price manipulation. I think a lot of these companies that are manipulating silver contracts down, I think they're also shorting the stock to get that double triple effect. But even though the price performance has sucked, I think it's a good safety margin. It can't go much lower. It might be a good entry time. I wouldn't necessarily buy because I already own a lot of it. And I bought at 3. I bought at 4. So, and that's what I mean. When you hold things for a long time, it went to 25, 24. And and the reason you don't see it on the chart, it was only for a day, but that's because of the Wall Street bets. And now it's at 12. But if I bought it at 3 or 4, I really don't lose any sleep. I sleep good at night. But
Yeah.
I think it's a good entry point. I think it's just be prepared to hold it for a couple years.
Okay, so you're smashing at these levels.
I'm smashing. Me personally, I'm holding, but for everybody, I'll say smash.
All right. Let me look up some extra info too, just in case, because I don't want to speak out of line. I'll share this screen.
Man, the smashing pass is good though. I'm liking the.
All right, so let me look up. First Majestic Silver Dividend. All right,
We got a
so it's pleased to
dividend
announce that the
too.
company's board of directors has adopted a dividend policy for the companies under which of the company intends to pay a quarterly dividends of 1% of the company's net revenues commencing after the completion of first quarter 2021. So there you go. I didn't want to say it without actually verifying it. I thought I heard it, but I didn't see it for sure. But they do offer a dividend as of the first quarter of 2021. So that's something else to add in there. I'm with the camp of Matt as well. He's with the camp of buying this. I'm smashing on this one as well. All right, on to the next one, Matt. Pick one.
What you got? What you got? Oh, pick one.
Pick. Yeah.
Oh, what company has my interest? Skills. Is it S? Yeah. Yeah. You
All
see?
right, so Skills is on the New York Stock Exchange. Let's look at their 6-month chart. As in the last, well, let's look at the all-time chart. This one was a special purpose acquisition company, and they hit a high of $46.27. The 1-year chart, you can see what it looks like there. They had a top, and they're currently looks like they've bottomed out. We'll take a closer look at the chart. Looking at 3 months, the lowest during this time has been $10.04 ish, and that can be attributed to that's where SPACs usually get their start at. They usually get their start around the $10 mark, and some of them go there. They tend to reflect back to that, which is their starting point. One that wasn't part of that was Pershing Square Taunting Holdings. That was a $4 billion SPAC, which is under scrutiny right now by the SEC. That was Matt's favorite person in the entire stock market, Bill Ackman. He has a T-shirt with him on him.
Joe from CNBC is my favorite. Correct.
That would be if the segment was called Trash or Trash. But all right, so this is Skills. Looking at the 1-month chart, it's hit a low of about the $10 mark, like we talked about, and it's currently trading at $12.38, which this company offers a lot. I mean, they're in the gaming sector, which I know you're a big believer in. If you're in the Kathy Wood camp, she has been purchasing this one at the cyclic rate for her holdings. So she's a net buyer of Skills. They also recently had a deal with the NFL, if I'm correct. I'll look that up for y'all. Skills NFL and Skills sign a multi-year gaming agreement. So They're teaming up with Skills, the leading platform for fair, fun, and meaningful competition, to crowdsource a future mobile esport. As part of the agreement, the two sports organizations will host a global game developer challenge. Competing developers will have the opportunity to develop an NFL-themed mobile game. The game will be powered by the Skills esports platform and will have the joint marketing support from both the NFL and Skills. The combination of the NFL brand and the Skills platform will set the stage for future of electronic sports competition. So this is a big development. This is not like brand new news. This is something that happened last quarter. So this was on their last quarter report. Even after that news, they kind of had a little boost up, but the company still started trending downwards. And it's been on the opening trade. A lot of people are thinking, are people going to be gaming still if the economy is opening back up and there's actually restaurants you could go to and things you can do? Are people still going to be gaming? If you're asking me at $12.33, am I a net buyer of this stock? I say smash. I'll pass it on to you. Skills, Matt, the golden child. What is your consensus?
I just want to start it off by saying I get a lot of negative criticism for me being so defensive all the time, but I'm you gotta drop some offense every now and then. I do like this for several reasons. I personally, just taking the gloves off, I think the NFL is not aware of what they're signing. Like, this could potentially take over the NFL, right? Like, we're looking at real athletes going to video game athletes, and we kind of saw it in players. I think that's a very good demonstration where a real football player was going to quit his job and just fund the E-team. They bring in a lot of money. They bring in a lot of passive income.
Shout out to the TV show Ballers.
That you put me on. That you put me on. And the streams. And this is my thing. Don't get caught up. And I know it's funny because me and you are almost polar opposites with everything. Cool, copy. But don't get caught up on the price action of this week, next month, this year. If they have a very good vision, as long as they can keep their finances together, control their debt, stay afloat, right? As we get out this murky situation, that's the only reason why I'm not buying by the boat. Like, I'm not in love with the macro right now, but outside of that, the future is bright. So I would smash.
All right, so there you have it. We went through Marathon Digital Holdings. I passed. Matt said he's holding. We went through First Majestic Silver Corporation. Matt is smashing. I also am smashing, especially with that dividend. And then we went through Skills, and both of us are pressing the smash button on that one. So there you have it. We're at the 59-minute, 13-second mark. Matt, any last thoughts?
No, this is a great segment. I like it. I learned a lot. I love the platform, man. I love the platform. Let's continue to evolve it, and let's try to catch compound.
I appreciate it, man. I need you guys. I need all of you. You don't have to watch the live, but watch it, share it with your friends. We're trying to spread knowledge that is for free. Matt, your friend, he put me on that Discord, and I got a message today saying the free trial is almost over. Am I gonna pay? So they're trying to charge me.
I gotta, yeah.
They're trying to charge me for the platform, and I don't pay to play. Like I there's plenty of places you could get free knowledge from, and I'm trying to be one of those platforms.
I get you. Yeah, I get you. All
right, we'll talk offline. But as always, hey, invest in me and press that like button. Invest in yourself and smash that subscribe button. We are here for you. We're gonna do this every single day, except Sundays and Saturday for Japan time. We'll be here. But with all that said, until next time,